activate that was super powerful.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, oh, so aligned, right?
Of course you did, right? It's
Of
so
course I did.
interesting. I feel like some of these words, they just make sense, you know? Like I
Yes.
see people have rise, like I do rise, you know.
I have rise too, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm dying to know something. So I'm recording. I'm just making sure everything's happening. It looks like we're in
Live, yeah.
here.
Hi, Mary Rose, you fabulous human.
Yay! Oh, yay.
Mary Rose is going to blow all of us away with her intuitive powers, man.
Oh my gosh. I know,
She is
right?
like such an intuitive queen. I know.
I've been hearing about some things happening and I'm super
She's
excited.
amazing.
Can someone just type my name into the chat because
I will.
okay, I can't, it's not showing up on my phone. Oh, maybe
I just
it'll,
tagged you. Hi, Alicia. How are you, honey bunches? Hi, Mary Rose. Yeah, oh, brilliant. That's your new name. I'm gonna call you Telemundo.
oh, thank you so much, Laura. It wasn't coming up.
You found it?
Telemundo.
Yeah, yeah. Mm. Look at my new lamp, my tube of light.
Ooh.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah. I love it. It
Like the
reminds me.
crystalline tube of light that we
Yes.
go, oh, so exciting.
I like your room. You've got like the plants and
Oh, thanks.
the salt lamp over there. You got like some good stuff going on back
It's my happy place. I just keep filling it with things that make me feel happy. And I just want to, I like come in here and just breathe in and it infuses me with good energy.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Hi, Erica. Hi, Josie.
Yay. Oh, thanks for just like taking over and
Oh, Mary Rose, where I got what beauty? The lamp? I got it at Pier 1. And you know what's so funny? Oh, what just happened? Oh, I'm the host now because Steph got kicked off. So I'll just talk to you guys. So, something fell in my office too. The energy is so crazy right now. And you guys are going to be hearing all about why, because I'm going to tell you all about why. But so this is the issue with the lamp. Here, I'll give you guys a little preview, okay? So this is the issue. So you see the lights in the middle, but then there's like a bunch of crystal white sand rocks inside that reflect the light. It's freaking cool, right? Anything that has crystals like just blows up my life and makes me feel amazing. But anyway, there's two different, oh, her computer literally just died, she said. That's okay. You can just jump on, Steph. Hold on. Let me just message her. Okay, sure. Oh, hold on. Okay, just messaging Steph. Sorry, friends. Thanks for your patience. Okay, all's good. She's coming back. Okay, so there were two different kinds at Pier 1. It's called like a column lamp or something. I can't remember what it's called, but there were two, and one had like these rope lights going through it that you can make colorful or white. And I was actually kind of more drawn to this one because of the crystals, but I was on the fence. And then I went to purchase it, and the other one's completely sold out. So I bought this one, and then everybody's like, oh, I want one. And then they all sold out. So I think they're gone, which is sad. But maybe somebody said, oh, I love these lamps, and I snatched them up and they're selling them on eBay. Who knows? But somebody told me they actually saw them on Etsy. Check out Etsy. See if you can find them there. It makes me so happy because it's that crystalline tube of white light that we go in and out of to go into the Akashic Records, and so yummy.
Laura, I love you so much.
Oh, I'm just like chatting away. I got this handled.
You're the best. You got this handled. So my computer has just, I don't know, it's plugged in, but it's completely just died. So you can see the comments. I cannot.
All right, I'm all over it.
Yeah, you're on it. Okay.
It's so freaking Mercury retrograde. And then you guys are going to learn about all the other energies that are coming in right now. And that's exactly why your computer died.
Oh my, yeah, it's never done this. I've had it up and ready. And like, now it's just like, no, we're not going to do that. So
Do that.
I'm just going to put it aside and not worry about it.
This is my other question, my love. Do
What's up?
I have, can you just change the settings in Zoom to allow me to share my screen so that, I think you just have to go to share screen and allow multiple people to share simultaneously. Hi,
Yeah.
Laura West. Yeah, use your
It's on my, it's on my phone.
Oh, you don't know if you can change it in your phone? You probably can. Like, do you have, oh, wait, do you have a share screen option on your phone? I don't know that you do.
I have a share content option on my phone. Yeah.
Oh, that's fancy.
Ooh, I know.
You're so fancy.
Oh, so fancy. Ooh, I can make you a host.
Yeah, there you go. Make me a host, because then I can share my screen, because I have like charts on the Schumann that I want to show you guys images of.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you're so on it. I'm so glad you have that. Okay. So here's the scoop. I had like
Here's
my little
the scoop.
thing. I had my little thing to introduce you, but I don't. So just because yeah, but everyone pretty much knows who you are. So
I can introduce myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my voice. I'm gonna step into my authority. Okay.
Ooh, so, yes. I'm gonna drink some coffee.
Yeah, exactly. My name's Laura Mazzada, and I am an Akashic healer and teacher. I've also been a therapist for almost 20 years. I live in New York. I have 3 kiddos, a hubby, and a puppy. And we're so excited to get a giant snowstorm on Monday or Tuesday. I'm so pumped because then I can just like throw the kids in the snow and they make a snowman and they're happy. And I have branched off to completely close my traditional therapy practice and just entirely do this work because it is absolutely changing my life. It has changed my life. It's changed the life of my clients. And it got to the point where I felt irresponsible not sharing this with the world, because it is just, it's so healing. It's so expansive. It's so activating. Like, I never, ever thought that I could be this happy and energized ever in my life, and just confident. And so, yeah, I am now here. It's my mission to just share this with as many people as will listen. So thank you for those of you who are here to listen. I so appreciate it. And today we're going to be talking about the Schumann Resonance and basically anything else that you guys want to talk about around that. I literally compiled every single note I've ever had on the Schumann Resonance, because there's a lot of layers to it and there's a lot of detailed info. So I'm not going to go into all of that unless you guys request more. You know, like, I'm going to give you the overview. We're going to make this a conversation. We're going to talk about kind of what's going on in the cosmos and what this means and how we can use this as a tool for ourselves. And then I'll go as deep as you want me to go. I'm going to allow this to kind of flow. How does that feel, Steph? Good?
That sounds amazing. Yeah. Good. And definitely just kind of starting with, you know, what the heck is it? I love that you have some charts, but also like, why are we so interested in it right now?
Exactly. Yeah. I got that.
So let's just start with that. I always want to bombard you with questions, but
that's fine.
I'm just gonna start there. And as people have questions, you know, go ahead and pop your questions in. I will say, on a side note, just there's been so many conversations. I was just going to say this to begin with. I feel like everyone's at a different level with what's going on, you know, in terms of understanding all this metaphysical stuff and getting these upgrades and then learning new things about, you know, what might be going on or what their mission is in the world. And we've been talking a lot as well about like star seeds and where we're from. So I just have the feeling like that might pop into the questions too.
Love the star seeds.
Yeah, as we move into this. So anyway, not to like side note too much, but yeah, what is the Schumann Resonance? Why are we talking about it? What the heck is going on?
I'm grabbing my star seed deck because now that you said that, I was like, it has to be right next to me.
Yes, I just
so
got
that it's
that
at the ready if anybody has a star seed need. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love it.
So what is the Schumann Resonance? All right. And then why is it important right now? So the Schumann Resonance it's called the heartbeat of Mother Earth, but it actually doesn't come from the earth. That's what's funny about it. is the feed glitchy for everyone else? Not sure if it's me or the feed, says Erica. So we'll see what comes up there. But, okay. Josie has a million questions and she wants to write a Bible. So, okay. So the Schumann resonance is called the heartbeat of Mother Earth, but it's not the Earth. Okay. It's not coming from the Earth. It's between the Earth and the ionosphere. Okay. So let me see if I have a picture of that. Because, oh yeah, here we go. I like this picture a lot. And it's not the clearest, but it's the best picture that I found. So let me just share my screen. Oh, okay, cool. Beautiful. All right, you guys can see my screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen in the comments, okay? All right. Hi, Evelyn. Thank you so much for joining, honey. Good to see you.
Hi, Evelyn. Hi,
all right,
everyone.
So I'm just going to minimize this so that our faces aren't in the way. So here's Earth. Here's Earth's atmosphere. Here's the ionosphere, and then there's the magnetosphere. So I have information on all of these spheres, but the important part to know is that for the Schumann resonance is the electrical activity that's occurring between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere. So it's these like white lines that you see, kind of jagged, okay? Because this is the energy that's bouncing back and forth between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere. And the ionosphere is just basically like, it's a high concentration of ions and like free electrons. And what it does is it reflects radio waves, okay? So in this space between the Earth and the ionosphere, there's always electrical activity going on in the form of lightning strikes, okay? So the lightning strikes, when they occur in the atmosphere, they obviously generate energy. Now, technically, this space here in the atmosphere is not supposed to have the capacity to hold any electric charge at all, but it does. And that's exactly why people are so intrigued by this, because technically, based on like the chemical and electrical composition of this space, there shouldn't be anything that can be held energetically in this space. So basically, the reason that we get the Schumann resonance, which is basically, it's been named after the guy Schumann, who was first able to detect that there was electrical activity that was occurring between the Earth and the ionosphere, okay? And so they obviously have special instruments and scientific instruments that are used to measure this. And what they've determined is that the electrical activity, the lightning bolts that occur here, are directly correlated to the ionizing rays that come from the sun. So all of the energy that comes in from the Schumann resonance, well, let's say it this way. Most of the energy is coming from the sun and solar flares, okay? So when we get solar flares, depending on how directly they hit the Earth, depends on how much electrical activity we get between the Earth and the ionosphere. And then they're picking that up on the Schumann resonance. And the Schumann resonance graph looks like this. So this is a fairly recent one. This is January 27th, this is January 28th, and this is January 29th. So you can see why all of us have been a shit show yesterday. And there's so much activity. So there's so many things I want to show you. Do you want me to keep talking, or do you want me to stop for questions?
Let's just see if there's any let's just see if there's any questions.
Okay.
I don't see any questions yet. I can see about 4 comments at a time right now.
Cool. Hi, Abby.
Hi,
right, cool.
Abby.
So this is what I'm just going to keep talking, because I could literally talk about this and geek out all freaking day. So you just shut me up when you need me to stop if it's confusing. Okay.
I guess like, does everyone, I feel like you just blown my mind already, just saying like what, I'm not even going to worry about that techie sciencey part, but what I'm really interested in, keep going. Cause we have these shifts in the Schumann resonance, and that seems like a huge shift. And apparently it affects us.
So I'm going to explain that now. Okay. Because just so you know,
hang on. So, me too. Okay. So Mary Rose is saying her right ear was ringing so much last night. My ears have been ringing the last couple nights. Laura says, can we see it compared to less can we see it compared to less activity?
That's what I'm doing right now because I'm so
Yay!
amazing. And I'm going to show you it all. Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
So the ringing in the ears is one of the #1 symptoms. And that's been super prevalent the last 2 days in particular.
Yeah.
So so when you're looking at the Schumann resonance, this 7.83 hertz, in fact, I think it's written right here. Right. So the base atmospheric electromagnetic resonant frequency, when it's stable, right? That space between the earth and the ionosphere that we looked at, right? That space, the stable frequency is 7.83 hertz.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we are stable, all we should see on this graph is completely all dark blue and then just one green line going across here with no spikes at all. That's when we're completely stable, okay? With absolutely, it's all blue. And then we have the 7.83. All that should be lighting up when we're stable is this line right here. Does that make sense? And it should just be green across with no spikes.
And I've heard that like humans, we want to kind of harmonize with that number.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you. See, we're working together here because that's exactly why they say we need to attune to this frequency and the frequency of Mother Earth as much as possible, because we're going to be matching the electromagnetic frequency that is the stability of Mother Earth, right? We're going to be matching that heartbeat of Mother Earth when we align with that, which is why parasympathetic work is so important right now. And when the Schumann resonance is active. So let me tell you.
Can you give a quick example? Like what's parasympathetic work?
Sure. So parasympathetic is, and I'm going to be explaining that in a little bit too.
Okay.
But the parasympathetic nervous system is the relaxation response. So that's the part of like rest and digest, right? So that's the part of our nervous system that we activate by meditating, by really deep breathing, by like myofascial release, massage, those kinds of things. That's just like, really brings you to that Zen state, which could be solfeggio frequencies.
Yeah, got it. Okay, yeah, making sure everyone's like getting what we're okay. Yay.
Of course. No, interrupt me anytime. So
keep going.
What I think is fascinating is that until 2 years ago, well, I guess it's a little over 3 years ago at this point. I think it was 2017, the end of 2017. Up until then, we literally had no activity on the Schumann ever.
What?
The only thing we had up until the end of 2017 was this line right here. And since then, in the past 2.5 years-ish, 3 years, I guess, at this point, it has been active, which is a huge sign how much information and energy is being sent to our planet. Now, hold on. Graph number 836. Okay. This is what the spiritual peeps are saying about the Schumann resonance. They're saying that, remember, this is the line of 7.83 hertz where we're stable, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's the 3D, which is where we are as humans on Earth. Then there's the 4D is the next line, the 5D is the next line, the 60 is the next line, and the 70 is the next line. So over the course of the past 3 years, these lines have started showing up. None of them were recognizable or came up at all on this graph 3 years ago. None of them. So what they're saying is it's so obvious that that's why when you ask, why are we looking at this and interested in this now? This is the ascension that we have the scientific evidence to show how we are continuing to bring in higher and higher levels of light codes and frequencies to allow our physical bodies to hold more light, to hold a greater capacity for energy to match that of these higher dimensions of consciousness and frequency. So what they're anticipating is that this whole freaking thing is going to be filled within the next few years.
Wow. Hey, so real quick, Mary Rose is saying, what's a typical frequency that we have when we're not meditating?
So that's interesting. I feel like I know that answer, but I don't know where it is. I know it's not here. I'm going to have to look that up for you because I know that number. I feel like it's around 20 or something. I don't know, but thank you for asking that and I'll get back to you on the answer.
Yeah. And then Abby's saying maybe this will help her become an electrical detector to fix her house.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I have an
And-
interesting thing to tell you about that, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. And then, it's only, I don't know why it does this. It's showing me like 4 comments at a time.
Well, I can look, honey.
It won't,
Alicia
it
wants
won't.
to know if this is why she's spilling all of her drinks and
Yes,
making the
thank
dog
you.
act out. 100%.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. Holy cow, maybe that helped, maybe that. Yes. Okay. So, oh yeah, the frequency of emotions. I love that. That's one of my favorite charts that I geek out on. I share that in almost all my courses.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Evelyn's gardening as she listens. Thank you for grounding for us. We appreciate the grounding energy.
Oh
I'm so thankful because we all need to ground right now. So in terms of this, maybe that helps me become an electrical detector to fix my house. Yes, what this tells us, my friends, is that we are all tuning forks, okay? And the part of us that's a tuning fork is our autonomic nervous system. So our autonomic nervous system, here, I'll stop the share for a second so you can see my face. The autonomic nervous system, the nervous system in general, is very responsive to the energy that comes into the earth. They're not showing that shows up necessarily in other systems of the body, but particularly our nervous system. But of course, our nervous system dictates the functioning of the rest of our body. So I don't know if any of you have followed the Heart Math Institute, but Heart Math is phenomenal. And they've done a bunch of studies on this, a lot of research. And basically, they found that when you measure the beat-to-beat heart rate variability within human beings, that's a good reflection of the functioning of the autonomic nervous system. So basically, if I'm standing here and I have all these waves coming into the earth, right? They're going to affect the earth, obviously, and then they're going to affect me a little bit less than the earth since I'm tinier. But it's almost like your autonomic nervous system is the tuning fork for these energies that are coming in. So it's funny because I have symptoms of autonomic neuropathy from when I had sepsis, like almost 5 years ago. And when my neuropathy flares up, I know it's because stuff is off, because that's my tuning fork, right? And the autonomic nervous system controls digestion, heart rate, blood pressure, balance and stability. So be off. I'll feel really nauseated. I'll feel kind of dizzy. My heart rate will be a little higher. And so these are all the things that the Heart Math, their research is phenomenal, because what they show, every single time there've been significant solar flares, they've been aligned with World War I, World War II, the Great Depression.
Really?
All of these huge events on Earth have directly aligned with the amount of solar flare activity. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
So it impacts human behavior. It impacts our moods. I'm getting chills. See, I love this stuff. It impacts our energy level, etc. It does. It makes so much sense. And the thing that's interesting, well, I won't go there yet because I don't want to give you guys too much at once.
And Abby, I remember Abby helped detect electrical imbalances, like dangerous ones, in her home a couple of years ago. And I think that I get that, Abby. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Your heart doesn't lie. You're getting palpitations, right? Like she was feeling it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, so it's so cool because we're able to see how this impacts us and really be aware of when it's energetics that's universal. We want to, when we go into that parasympathetic state and we do like really deep breathing or meditation, or we tune ourselves to a higher frequency in the space of the Akashic Records, what we're doing is we are allowing ourselves to receive more light codes. We're allowing ourselves to receive this energy that's being sent to us. Go ahead.
Like Mary Rose.
Yes. Mary Rose, the intuitive superstar. Yes.
Yeah.
So you're allowing yourself to bring this in. And what you're doing is you're expanding your capacity to hold light. And don't we all want to be more illuminated? Don't we all want to? But that's where we end up getting ascension symptoms. And we end up getting these symptoms of, one of the most common is diarrhea, headache, nausea, obviously some ear ringing, but it's because our bodies are upgrading.
And that's why your parasympathetic nervous system, you got to do that stuff to kind of reorganize the energy in your body.
Because it's working very hard.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so it's very loving to do that for ourselves, because what we're doing is we're allowing the ascension. You know, we're allowing the ascension. We're opening ourselves up to having that come in. And what's really interesting is that these solar weather follows an 11-year cycle. Okay. So the next one I think is coming in 2025. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So solar cycle 25 is now underway, and it's expected to peak with 115 sunspots in July 2025. So get ready. Because
Yeah.
July 2025, we might be like, you know, all rising up into the clouds and hanging out with the angels. Who the hell knows?
It sounds like
But
it.
we're going to be like having angel parties. But
Yeah.
yeah, so when you find when all this energy from these sunspots kind of peak, then they end up having these solar flares because it has to be released from the sun. And so at that point, it all builds up in the atmosphere, right? And then it gets sent to Earth. And it depends on how directly it hits, but it's at these 11-year 11-year times when the sunspots become active. That's when it's the most direct, and it's the most direct at the equator. So anybody who lives near the equator is going to have the greatest level of impact from the solar flares. Dizziness, 100%. Dizziness, absolutely. Pressure on your head for 2 days. Yes, that's absolutely it.
I just had this crazy thought, okay, as I'm trying to process this. And I started to think about like evolution, right? And what we know of evolution, like dinosaurs, etc. And I just thought about, you know, what you're talking about and how we know and we can communicate with these angels and other beings. But like, what if what you're saying is like legit, like, you know, we are going to at some point like look different. We are, it's going to be more normal just to be walking around, like communicating at a different level than we currently are, like this waking up, this ascension. Like there used to be dinosaurs walking the earth and that was normal. But to think about this huge transition we made from dinosaurs to like today and what we're doing.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not even talking about like other like starseed type stuff. I'm just talking about like what we learn in history books. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yes. No, that's exactly the idea. I'm looking for a chart right now that I had taken a picture of on my phone. I'm trying to send it to my computer, but it's not working. So I might just have to show you guys here.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me just show you guys, because this is explaining exactly what you're just talking about, Steph.
Okay.
All right. So this is, you guys are going to be like, oh my God, Laura, you got to stop talking about science. Okay.
My brain is trying.
So I'm going to show you this chart one more time, just so that you remember, so that you know what I'm talking about. Hold on one second. All right. So remember now, here's the Earth, right? Here's the atmosphere where everybody's bouncing around in here, all this lightning activity. And then we have the ionosphere. Okay. And then we have the magnetosphere. All right. So this next chart that I'm going to show you is going to be of the magnetosphere. All right. And hopefully you guys can see this.
Yeah, Evelyn loves it. She's all about it.
All right, cool. Because I'm not following comments anymore right now.
That's okay.
All right, so you see this picture right here. All right, so.
Oh, wait, okay, there you go. It's a little bit of a delay, I think.
Okay, so there's a little spot right there. That spot is Earth.
Okay.
That little spot right there is Earth. And then, we have the ionosphere around us. But then here is the magnetosphere, okay? All around this dotted line is the magnetosphere. So the sun is over here, okay? Sun's over here. And it sends us its rays or its flares, and they bounce off of this nice, happy little barrier right here for the magnetosphere, okay? Now, the red means that there's so much activity that it's really working hard, okay? That's what that means. And interesting thing, there's more charts, hold on, because I'm going to show you how this progresses.
Yeah. Y'all are funny. Everyone's like, well, we're bigger now. Like Laura's like, we're bigger now. Feet size, weight size. Well, there's the obesity issue. Mary Rose is like, she blames it on the all-you-can-eat sushi.
Oh my gosh, bring on the sushi. I almost put on my sushi socks today to call in the sushi, but I put on my hummingbird ones. Okay, so look at this. Do you see the difference? Do you see how there's a little, like, Yeah. So that's not supposed to happen, my friends.
What?
Okay. That's supposed to be nice and smooth. So that means that there's really, really intense electrical activity coming forward. Now, the other really notable piece here that's very important based on what Steph was just saying is, I said the sun was over here, right?
Uh-huh.
So what the hell are all of these?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. So these are, people believe, the Wall Street Journal is giving me a
You have so many notifications.
notifications. Oh my God, welcome to my life. So anyway, so these are coming in, and this is what people are saying. This is information and light codes being sent to us from the universe.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, from the universe and from like other beings that are really interested in assisting us with ascending. And they're basically sending these codes for us to ascend. So I have one more picture for you.
Oh my God, they're like the midwives.
Yeah. Hold on.
There's so many.
Okay, and then you see this
right
one.
now.
Check out this one. I'm just showing you this one because it's fun. Look at that spike.
Yeah. What?
It's like breaking the barrier almost, right?
Yes,
And it's letting them in, and there's like these leaks and they end up coming in. So what I want to show you last before I stop using this. Okay, this is the best picture. The first one I started with.
Right, Mary Rose.
So
Yeah.
here.
What?
Right inside. God damn it. Ready for all right, ready for this. Right inside the dotted line. Inside the dotted line, right? All around here is supposed to be entirely blue. We are not supposed to have anything in there. And there's activity in there that's leaking in.
I see that.
And you see that it's coming in from the side that is not aligned with the sun right now.
What?
So that's the magnetosphere. So that's the evidence there of the fact that we are ascending to higher and higher dimensions and being sent light codes from other places in the universe.
Yeah. Science.
Isn't it fascinating?
It's fascinating. Well, it's like, thank you. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. Oh, all right. Like now that we know, and Mary Rose is asking if you don't mind, like maybe sharing those images. Maybe later you can screenshot them and just put them in the group or something.
Screenshotted. So I will just, I'll share them for you guys for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Of course.
That is so cool. Abby's like, whoa, that's so, I'm just processing.
I am too. And I'm going back here too, because I want to check, oh, the other thing that this is, okay, can I add more information? Let me just make sure.
Of course.
Okay.
I don't see questions. It's more like just a conversation about sushi and how we're bigger.
Listen, I think sushi needs to be part of every conversation. I think it really just enhances our earthly experience.
It does.
So,
absolutely.
All right. So this is one thing I just want to share with you that is about, and this is from, I believe this is from Heart. Oh yeah, it is. It's from Heart Math because of the heart math.
Oh
right
yeah.
down
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
But this is from Heart Math. So this is the intervals of like the beats right between your hearts. So there's three different things that impact us on Earth. And that's cosmic rays, sunspots, and Schumann resonances, right? And the Schumann resonances are obviously partially overlapping with the sunspots, right? Because we do get our Schumann resonance reading from our solar activity impacting the Earth. It just depends on how directly it is, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I think is really notable is the cosmic rays, right? Because the cosmic rays, I'm going to just read this to you because it's easier. They're high energy protons. Okay. So when we're looking at the ionosphere, we're looking mostly at electrons, but the cosmic rays are high energy protons and atomic nuclei that move through space at nearly the speed of light. They also originate from the sun. Okay. And they originate from outside of our solar system and from distant galaxies. So these are the rays that they're saying are coming in on that opposite side of the sun when I showed you the magnetosphere. And I think it's really important for us to cross over with our knowledge about astrology, okay? Because if you think about cosmic rays impacting us, like if Jupiter, this giant, huge planet, is closer in orbit to us, the energetic field of Jupiter is going to warp or impact the energetic field of the Earth. And if that's occurring at the same time that the solar flares are going nuts, you know what I mean? So that's why it's important to kind of put it all together and understand how it all impacts us. But I think the cosmic rays are cool because they're coming in even further from beyond our sun, from beyond our galaxy, and they're still impacting us, right? And what's interesting is it's actually really, really good that we did not have any activity prior to a few years ago in the Schumann resonance, and that it's gradually been moving up that line from 3D to 4D to 5D and gradually filling in. Because if it all came in at once, we would be really sick. We would be very, very sick. And some of us probably wouldn't even have survived. You know, like it's just too much for us to be able to acclimate to. And so you can't say that this is not divine intelligence sending this stuff through. And I know there's questions, I'll get to them in a second. But you can't say there's not divine intelligence sending this through, because they're sending it through in a way that allows us to acclimate and adjust to these frequencies and call in light that we can tolerate, right? That we can handle. All right, let me see.
Right.
Erica, does Schumann resonance go up and down depending on the station reading, the levels as the earth turns? So yes, it does. And what's interesting is the Schumann resonance that I check is actually housed in Russia. But what's funny is that the way that their timing work, they use the UTC, Universal Time Conversion. It ends up kind of aligning with Eastern Standard Time in the United States. So that's actually the satellite that is up 99% of the time. The rest of the satellites just get knocked out all the time because this energy is so strong. So a lot of the readings are unreliable, but these are really reliable because it's the most stable satellite. But yes, they will go up and down for sure, if that answers your question. Mary Rose, can I put you in my pocket so I can have you explain all these amazing things? Because if I try, the only thing that will come out is we have spikes. Yeah, I think that's a brilliant way of saying it. We got spikes.
And we're ascending.
Yeah.
What I'm curious about is this, because I feel like it's like these pieces coming together. So, when I think about these dimensions, I think about like the so-called like beings that are in these dimensions, right?
Yep.
Seventh dimension, eighth dimension. So if we are sort of, if the energy, the frequency of the earth, like that area is getting access to all of this that we didn't have before, and then we are absorbing light, like what does that mean for humans? Does it mean that we're literally going to be able to communicate better with these other beings? Is that what we're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, and that's what we do in the Akashic Records. That's what we learn, is to like, how do we communicate with these beings? How do we gather information from them? And what we're doing is we're also inviting them. We're saying like, co-create with us, collaborate. Like, we want to communicate. We want to understand one another and understand how they operate, how they have operated, and what we can learn from these other beings and from these other societies and planets and galaxies that we know nothing about. You know, so yeah, that's the goal, is to be able to communicate more and more, and understand how they communicate, because they communicate through light and through sound and through sensation. They don't communicate through human language. They sometimes communicate through light language. Thank you, Mary Rose, because you're a light language queen.
Totally. So I got a question for you. So when you say, and I've communicated, how would I say, like through images, through like direct communication, but I haven't known light. So if I were to communicate through light, like what would that look like?
It's just beautiful, and I'm soaking it in. So to communicate through light, it's it's you really receiving the light codes that they're sending you, because that's how they communicate. You're not necessarily sending light to them, you're just receiving the light from them. So you may see that in color, you may see that in like lit up symbols, you may not even see it as light. So it could be coming into you as light, but it could exist at a frequency of light that we cannot pick up on as human beings. So it may be actually interpreted by our system as like physical symptoms or as sound, because it takes on a different form once it kind of enters this dimension.
Well, no, it's interesting too, because now if I think of it, like I can actually see, I would think I was ignoring it. Like when I say that, like I do see light, but I never connected that to anything. Like other things, I'm like, oh, that's tangible. That's an image. That's tangible. That's words, but I mean, I can see it like right now, but I was like, oh, that's just what you do. So,
right.
yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And did you have a question embedded in there that I needed to answer?
No, that was it. Like, tell me about the light. Like when you mentioned light specifically, I was like, well, what are we talking about? You know? So you did answer it. I feel like you did answer it. Yeah. And I see other questions coming in.
Laura says, does this also open communication with beings from the other side or only being? Oh yes, 100%. That's what we do in the records. There's so many different levels at which you can interact with beings. You know, we have like we can do ancestral healing and ancestral connection and ritual. We can do past life connection, you know, so you can kind of follow your soul all the way back. You can connect to beings who have crossed over. You can connect to celestial beings, which is astral travel. So yeah, for sure. You can really access any of that. The shivers, like a rush of energy. Yeah, the shivers are 100%. I have a whole list here of the physical symptoms. I'll say a few of them. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I want to share this one study that I think is just so cool. That they did on the Schumann Resonance. So what they did was Oh, and this is also interesting, is of course we are off from that 7.83 hertz frequency that we're supposed to be at because we have all this freaking technology, all these superficial wavelengths that are interfering with a natural wavelength. So that's why. And the more that we align our brains to the wavelength of 7.83, the more that we are bringing ourselves back online, you know, and distancing ourselves from technology, things like that. But so they did this experiment where they tuned people to 7.83 hertz. Okay. And when they did that, people had benefits like enhanced learning and memory, body rejuvenation, balance, improved stress tolerance, anti-mind control, and grounding, right? And then when they took the 7.83 away and they removed it from their environment, everybody had migraine headaches, emotional dis-ease, and a bunch of health problems that started cropping up. So it's unbelievable, like how important it is for ourselves to tune to this energetically. And that's why I always tell people, yeah, give me a minute. I got to tune my body, and I'll put on my solfeggios or I'll put on my frequencies because I literally know that my body is a tuning fork. And especially with my autonomic nervous system being like super sensitive. Like it's important to tune as much as you can.
Well, would you say like
ancestors are into?
Oh,
yes. Oh, Mary Rose, I love that. I love you so much. That's brilliant. It makes sense that our ancestors are in tune because technology wasn't a thing. Exactly. That's why it's so important to go back and get their stories, right? Like that's one of the biggest things I teach in ancestral healing is like when you go back there, like just listen to them, let them talk, let them tell you, you know, how things have unfolded and how things have been like utopian for them, you know?
Wait. Okay. So Josie, I don't know if you're still on here, but just real quick, we did our psychic playground.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, whatever, Thursday. And
some night.
It doesn't matter. And then I think it was Laura who saw like this bearded guy, and then Josie found the picture of him, whichever great-great-grandfather that person is. And then also there was this whole message about like what Josie was meant to do, like bring forth something. So as you say that, I sort of connected the dots, like for Josie, that's literally it. It's literally just talking, having conversations with this man that she has this picture of, at least starting with him. And we talked about channel writing and just seeing what comes through, because according to this reading for her, it's meant to be something big to serve people. So yeah.
Absolutely. And intentionally connecting with beings like that. Are you kidding me? They love that. They get like giddy because they're like, oh yes, like they want to co-create with us. They want to collaborate with us. And so when we invite them in, they will give you whatever. If you're open to listening, they will give you whatever you want to receive and are ready to receive. And that's why I like the Akashic Records, because like when you're in that space, you're not going to get anything that you're not ready to receive. That's going to like knock you over and make you feel like, oh, it's too much, you know?
Well, I got a question about like the migraine thing. So I have a couple of friends that get migraines, and you do too. Okay. So do you sense that like would it help them if I were to mention to them, go listen to, because I listen to binaural beats, like I like to chant, but specific to this number 7.8, would you listen to like binaural beats for 7.8? Would you, to get in the frequency? Yeah.
What I would recommend is like, I think the lowest one that I've ever listened to is 174 or 117 or something like that. So it's like getting yourself lower and lower, as much as you can. Because really what you're going to find is there's a difference between, like, if you're listening to frequencies that are on the lower end of the spectrum, you're tuning to that for sure. But you also want to balance it with listening to frequencies at the higher end, because you want to find a harmony, right? We want to find a harmony between the two, because we want to ascend and have this, like, it's tuning to the 7.83, but then also leaving wiggle room for all of us to continue to ascend beyond that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're going to feel more stable at the 7.83, if that makes sense.
So that's interesting, because for instance, like with the Healy, the Healy is constantly like kind of going back and forth between like higher and lower frequencies.
Correct.
I think by the same token, and even today over on Insight Timer, we were talking about chakras, and we were actually even talking about like the vibration of the different chakras. So you don't want to just attune to the vibration of like the root chakra. You want to have like, it's like the symphony.
Exactly.
Like symphony.
I love that. Brilliantly said, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're just kind of laughing about Josie, like, no pressure, Josie, no pressure.
So funny.
I think it's just playing with it and just having fun and bringing curiosity to it, It
is. And to, when you wake up wonky, check the solfeggio and then check the magnetosphere, right? And there's like an account on Instagram that I think I tagged you in stuff.
Yeah.
I tagged you in that. So you can share that for people too, if they want to, like, if they don't want to go and read the freaking charts and they just say, somebody just tell me what's going on.
Oh yeah, she's great. Whoever that is she's great.
She's great. And most of the time that's what I do, is I just like go to her page and I'm just like, oh wow, okay, this is what's going on today. And then you can just go on to the well, she might share images of the magnetosphere too, because she likes the magnetosphere too.
Okay.
But then you can check that too. But in addition to astrology, because I don't want to dismiss the impact of astrology, especially considering like how large the planets are and how large their field is when they interact with Earth. So there's a lot of pieces at play.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Yeah, but particularly, I will tell you, I wrote this down last night. See, I write like random notes places because I'm intuitive and that's what I do. That since the solstice, these Schumann Resonance spikes, like the big ones that I just showed you, have been hitting every single day. So they said they are, and she said the other thing when I was, and that was the woman on Instagram that I did some research around hers, and she was saying that what's crazy is that, keep in mind, friends, when the scientific instruments and the satellites are picking up these vibrations and these spikes, it doesn't even touch how big they actually are. Like, that's just what the instrument is capable of absorbing and transmitting. But the frequencies are actually anticipated to be much stronger than they're actually showing. But they've been hitting every single day since the solstice. So she's like, that's why everybody feels like literally, it's so funny, because over the past month I've said like, oh, I've just had like a lot more symptoms. Like, what is going on? Like, I've been taking care of myself and doing everything, like, but I've been having so many more symptoms. And it's because, and I literally keep saying, it's because it's since the solstice, since that solstice. And this is why.
Yeah. And like Mary Rose, I was just thinking about that too. Like, I've been so full of energy. I just feel like I've been like in overdrive.
So yeah, that's what's funny is like, and I think this is important to share. Like, I feel like I'm in overdrive, and the amount of downloads that are coming in are so fast and furious, but I've also had like the physical discomfort that goes along with it. And that's what's so cool about this energy, is that at the same time that we're going to have those physical sensations and our bodies might feel off and we might be super moody and emotional, we are also like super intuitive and creative and like, ooh, all the things,
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's good to know. I really feel like, just, I don't know, it feels calming hearing this information. because it's like, oh, that's what that is. Like, oh, I get where we're going now. Like, I just feel like we get the bigger picture so much.
Yeah. She said that at work, a lot of people had headaches and it was notable. Yeah, see, exactly. And you saw the spike from yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Let me show you again, because that was just crazy. Hold on.
Yeah. And while you do that, Mary Rose is like saying she's already overdrive as it is, and now it's more. I could see that.
Yeah,
with you.
this was yesterday. Look at this.
Right.
That was
Look at
yesterday.
that.
And you
Oh
wonder
my
why people have
gosh.
freaking headaches.
Yeah. Right.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Erica's been slammed the last few days.
Yeah. And look, this is it, like on a chart. So if you don't want to look at colors, but you just want to look at the, so that's
wow.
interesting
That's,
too.
I mean, the colors are so dramatic, but that's actually dramatic, really dramatic too.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
The
And
geeking out.
Evelyn's saying she's been getting the four of swords, rest.
I love you, Mary Rose. On my live the other day, I said, holy shit balls. And she's like, holy shit balls. So that's one of my favorite sayings ever, is holy shit balls. Oh, so good job, Abby. You take a good care of your body. Good job, my friend. All right. So do you guys want me to pull you a starseed card?
Of course.
Okay, let me pull your starseed card. This is the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And if you don't have it, buy it.
Yes, I just got it. I love it.
Yay. And she also has Work Your Light, which is also a really good deck too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Laura, you do. That's like, you do, like, you should check the Schumann, like, before you go in, or the Magnetosphere.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So everybody take a deep breath in and send me all of your prana, all of your life force energy to this deck. Thank you, beautiful friends. They have chosen. Okay. All right, this is beautiful. Child of the cosmos. The energy of the universe lies within you. And I'll share a picture of this in the group when we're done, okay? So you guys have access to it.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh, it's so perfect. It's so
I
beautiful.
know. All right, let me read this to you. There's a mysterious force that governs all of life, an intelligence that tells flowers when to bloom and the tides and seasons when to come and go. That intelligence is within you too. It was there before you drew your first breath, and it will be there well beyond your last. It's the part of you that informed every cell what to do when you were in your mother's womb. It's harder to resist this force than it is to surrender to it, because Earth is a planet of polarity and free will. It's easy to forget that this intelligence exists within us. So often we become disconnected from this pulse of life and fall into the pattern of believing that we're separate or that we need to go it alone. We can feel isolated and as if we need to figure things out for ourselves, to rely on our own strength. You're being called to remember the intelligence that's within each and every one of your cells, to remember that you're a precious child of a loving, gentle universe. Gentle universe, see, because they're sending us these signals over the course of time so that we don't get knocked. Yeah. That you have access to all of the intelligence, wisdom, strength, flow, and qualities that ever were, are, or will be. And to remember that if flowers know exactly when and how to bloom, then you do too. So the inquiry that they encourage is, how can you surrender more deeply to the intelligent flow of life? I love this idea of this intelligence, not just light, not just frequency, but like that divine intelligence that exists within each of our cells, that each cell within our body has its own intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just fascinating. I could talk about this stuff all day.
It is. It's so intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Innate.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Getting the shivers. Yeah. Well, I just want to say that, oh my gosh. So you have, what's it called? It's called Amplify. You have a program coming up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Akashic Amplifier. It's funny that we're talking about that too, because the image for oh my goodness, Akashic Amplifier is of like the Aurora Borealis lights like coming up. So that's so funny because we're talking about the Schumann Resonance with all those colors.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that starts on Monday and I am pumped. It literally feels like an Akashic party. Ever since everybody started joining this course, I'm just like, this literally feels like such party vibes. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I know. I'm so excited.
Is this energy going to dissipate suddenly? It may. It may dissipate suddenly. So that's the thing. Like, I don't anticipate that it will. Like, when you say dissipate, like you're going to have your ups and downs, right? Like you're going to have the spikes in the Schumann, but in general on that chart over time, it's going to be filling in more and more. So it's like, even if it dissipates, it's not like we're going back to that flat 7.83 line necessarily. It's just going to dissipate in the intensity of the spikes. And then, you know, so that's why we're going to feel fluctuations, because it's based on the solar winds, the solar flares, and how direct they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
this party. Yeah, I'll drop a
This
link in. I've got a link for you. I can drop in
Okay.
about that. Yeah, I'll drop
Yeah,
that in
really
here.
what we're gonna do in Akashic Amplifier. Did Alicia's, is this energy going to, oh, I think she just posted it again.
Yeah.
So we're gonna open the Akashic Records obviously every time. And this is for people who, I created this for people who really just want to get more confident in bringing messages through, you know, because that's one of the things. It's like, oh, I'm connecting to the records, or I'm connecting to my intuition, or, you know, and I'm just not getting specific information, or I don't feel confident or clear about what's coming through. And so this is really about not just clearing blocks that might be in the way, but, you know, I have that uncanny ability, the Akashic Records do, to work through me and just hone in right away on, you know, what's getting in the way, like what's the issue, like what do you need to do to be able to bring through information with more clarity. So that's really what we're going to work on, is solidifying greater clarity and bringing this information through and connecting with these beings and having conversations with them. So because it's a relationship. You're creating a relationship with the Akashic Records, with your guides, with your loved ones, etc. And so it's really enhancing that relationship more intimately and knowing how to communicate, because it's hard. It's like when we meet humans, it can be hard to learn how to communicate with new people that we like don't know how they tick, or like we're like, what the hell did that mean if they say something, right? And so it's the same way. We need to learn how to communicate and understand these messages being sent back and forth.
Totally.
Got
yeah,
it.
and I'll make sure to drop that link in. I know, I'm like, I want to do it. It's the time.
I know, it's timing, right?
I know,
it's gonna be so fun.
I know. So we'll see. Maybe you'll see me in there tomorrow. That's usually what I do. I like make the last minute decisions all the time.
Go for it. Well, I actually love that, because that means you're listening to your energy, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're allowing your energy to guide you, and you're like, yeah, I'm not sure yet.
That's
so I'm just gonna let my energy tell me. Yeah,
and the emotion. It's the splenic emotion.
Yes. Love the splenic emotion.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
Oh my gosh, Alicia, she wouldn't mind if it went down a notch.
Oh my God, I swear to God, my children have been a disaster emotionally.
Yeah.
Like they're just like so, and it's just this energy. I'm just like, dude, you gotta like give me a break. Like, could you slow down, Schumann Resonance, because we got all the emotions up in here in New York.
Let's just put some like weighted blankets on them or something.
We all have weighted blankets, every single one of us. My husband gets so irritated. He's like, I can't even move the damn thing to give you a hug. I was like, I know. Anyway. All right, friends. So let me know if you have other questions. Feel free to just tag me if you have questions after the fact. And, I'm happy to answer. And then I will post the charts that I shared. I'll post the card that I pulled. Anything else you guys need me to post? I think that's it, right?
We'll tag you if we need other stuff. I think we should be good.
Cool.
All right. Laura, thank you. This has been just divine. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you everyone for being here and bringing all your energy and everything.
Love it.
Wow. Okay, let's see what happens.
Yes. Have a good weekend, everybody. Keep us posted on how you're feeling.
Yes, definitely. All right. Yes. Starseeds next class. I love it. Good plan.
Yes. Perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Laura, I think I just have to close the whole thing down.
Oh, that's fine. No worries.
Because I'm on my
your
phone. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
I'm the host, though. I might be able to. Oh, I can. I'm